This is the third recipe in my ChatGPT and me. ChatGPT and I, we're collabing. We're mixing it up a little bit, you know, because sometimes the recipes have oil or different things that I don't want to put in it. So we've got zucchini noodles, zoodles, right? And we've got Farmer's Market. They were fresh. Oyster mushrooms, they're all shriveled now, but I froze them because when you freeze them, certain things like cabbage or cruciferous mushrooms, and then you defrost them, they end up tasting more of like a cooked texture. So we've got that in here, and you could obviously use one of these spiralizers, but you know what? I like to keep things super simple, less dishes, less mess. I've had this thing for like over 10 years, all right? And you just, what I do is I start off with the zucchini, flip it over, then it's more stable, and then I go to the other side, and then today I was doing like the two sides, and then at the end, you have the ends. And so what I did was I took the zucchini ends, and then I added some Farmer's Market, this is all from the Farmer's Market, organic, local, nutrient dense, and we've got tomatoes, carrots, the zucchini, and then I marinated it, so I'm gonna throw that into the dehydrator, because the other thing is when I'm using the dehydrator, which is very seldomly, I like to use it to its maximum. So if I can throw in other things, awesome, save on the electric bill and all that. All right, so what I did was I already went ahead and put in everything. So this is soaked cashews. It calls for lemon juice. I use my probiotic pickle brine, plus the garlic cloves that were fermented in that pickle brine. And then there's nutritional yeast and water, and I did put a little bit of cold pressed raw avocado oil. So that's everything. And then you can put pepper and other things as well. I only put half because I really want to, again, the theme of keeping it simple, you know, not busting out the big equipment like the Vitamix. So I was like, let me see if I can do it in this magic bullet in the personal blender. I took half of the recipe and we're gonna try to blend it and see, fingers crossed y'all, what we get. All right, here we go. And it looks like it blended pretty good, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And it's not too hot, because these things will overheat. I walked away one time thinking it was gonna be all good, and then it was an experiment trying to make a little mini cheesecake. I thought the thing had broke, but it just basically was overheated and it stopped working, and then it got back to working. I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I've only had this thing for about a month and a half. Okay, so let's check it. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty good consistency. So I know that if I would have done the whole thing, like try to do the whole recipe, I don't think it would have really worked. Oh, that I am surprised at how smooth that looks. Wow, and after like literally just a minute and a half, right? Okay, and the recipe does not call for a dehydrator, but because I thought it would taste incredible, more as, you know, the flavors and textures of a cooked dish, I'm gonna throw it in at 130, and I do 130 because if you temp it, I have a laser temperature thermometer. It, even after 3 hours, it barely gets up to 100 degrees, right? Because it's what the temperature is inside the dehydrator, but not necessarily the food. All right, so we're scraping because we're zero waste, we're low waste, we're not zero waste. Let's keep it within the realms of reality here. All right, so I'll show that to you again in a second, but of course we have all of this extra on the lid as well. But yeah, I basically had mostly been using the Vitamix, and then when I moved back to the Tampa Bay, Florida area, and being single now, I was like, you know what? I need to make smaller portions. I need things that don't take up a lot of space. I need less dishes. I need efficiency. So that's been the thing I've been working on developing, creating. Okay. So there it is. And then we're gonna mix it up the best that we can without making a dang mess everywhere. Now this is interesting because this is about 1.5 zucchini. So I use, again, this, and then I kind of cut it into 3 because I didn't want super long strands. And I didn't know what the sauce to noodle ratio was gonna be, but it looks like it's pretty decent ratio because, you know, this is a lot of cream. This is a lot of cream. This deliciousness, I think this is gonna go great on salads. Maybe, you know, I'll have it with some natto, things of that nature. So yeah, we shall be back later with the mushroom. We've got oyster mushroom, zucchini Alfredo, y'all. We're back for the tasting. All right, here's what it looks like. It was actually probably about 4 hours. And here's what the veggies look like. Ooh, those look good. Let's give it a taste. So I used an organic, unfortified nutritional yeast, and it's really strong. So I think I would use a different nutritional yeast. The noodles are nice. They're crunchy, but they're also a bit tender. Not bad. I don't think the oyster mushrooms were that great with it. I'm putting a little bit more garlic and the black salt. Let's taste the veggies. Crunchy. Tomatoes are nice. All right, well, this is really nice. I probably actually want to heat this up a little bit more. I like it if it was a little bit softer. Hope you enjoyed the video.